Hey, what's going on? It's your main man, Frank Castle, your Sorcerer Supreme, live from the garden. Shout outs to the FearLess family. It's kind of a gray day. It's cool out. There is a little wind back finally in the garden. And shout outs to everyone. So I have a trip report. Last night, I ate a hefty little amount of mushrooms. And I promised you guys I'd report on it, tell you what's going on, but I will talk about this. It's pretty crazy. Well, I'm going to tell you right up front, it had nothing to do with ETs or inner earth or monster reptilians or nothing. So it was very, very specific, but it kind of shook me a little bit. It was out of left field what happened and how it went down. So I just figured I would talk about it a little bit out in the garden. So don't forget to check out Fearless Conversations tomorrow night. We're gonna have Don Rogers on the show. What's going on, Denise? What's going on, Michael? Tomorrow night at 8 p.m. EST, New York City time. And yeah, we got some other cool things going on. So last night I was writing for a new track. And I had been talking to KG, Sons of the Sun, shout out, Sons of the Sun's music. And we were chatting. He had this new dope beat. We were getting ready to do some stuff on it. And I said, all right, I kind of got baked. And I was like, I love to write music. Yeah, I have a good time, but when I'm focused on it. So I was listening to the beat on loop and I got really stoned. And I started writing all this crazy stuff. And I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. And while I was writing, I reached over and I grabbed a giant pinch. I had just put the mushrooms in a new jar right next to me. And I eyeballed it. It was like this big piece, and there's little pieces connected. And there's all this other stuff, like they look like little tiny mushrooms. So it's like a small amount of this stuff is really, really potent. I'll get the name of it. KG, if he's around, he'll say it. So I just throw it in my mouth and start eating. Like, and I'm like, wow, yeah, so I guess we're going there. Like, I didn't even think about it. I was like, this is going to happen. Awesome. Right, so I'm writing, and I start to feel the mushrooms come over me. And I'm like, hi, mushrooms, greetings. So, I don't know, I have a list of things I want to talk about that I need to know about myself, or that I'm curious about. But there's a few need to know things health-wise. I'm curious of what's going on. And I'm really confused with everything else. So it's like all up in the air. I know you would see through the BS much better. And maybe you can take a look at the list that I always forget when I come in here and filter through some of that shit. So if some of it's ridiculous and it's a not need to know, I'm not going to waste my time on it. Unless I'm really curious and I'm just like, come on, give me a hint of what's going on. Just tell me a little. Usually if you go through like an intense healing process, you go over your traumas, you just kind of go over things quickly, it pushes you into the next position. So I kept writing. I was like, well, I'm going to keep writing. And the mushrooms were like, we want you to write. Just keep writing. So I wrote something. It was. I don't think it fit the song, but it fit the idea of the song. But I was looking at KG's notes for his lyrics. And I'm like, I don't know. This is a little out of my wheelhouse, what you're asking me to do. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to try, I'm going to really try something different. So I went with it. So I wrote up some stuff, and then it started getting silly. And I said, okay, that's it. I started having double vision, triple vision, started to like really take over. So I was writing Kevin, like, wow, I ate some, and then it's hitting me fast. He's like, well, how much did you take? I'm like, I don't know, I just pinched it out. He's like, you can't do it with those. He's like, you're in for the roller coaster. So I'm like, yeah, I don't care. I'm like, we're gonna do this. I'm ready. I said, it's the mushroom was very welcoming, so nice, so very visual, but I was doing things. So one of the first things that happened was I was looking at YouTube, and I said, oh man, my fucking numbers, bro. No matter how much work I put into it and how much people are like throwing out there helping and stuff, I said, I didn't even hit 1,000 hours yet. I said, this is kind of like, what do I do in this scenario? They demonetize, and then I gotta make some more moves again. I says, but all this work and effort and time and doing everything, and I started breaking it down, like I don't charge, I don't do this, I don't do that, but I do this and I do this instead, and this instead. Is this even good? It started coming out like whining a little bit, right? And I noticed it. I was like, oh, here we go. So my inner monologue is now huge, like just whoa, so loud. And everything's like working on the inside. So I hear, oh, go on Spreaker and make sure you release the episode for today because you missed the other day one. So I said, okay. So I go over there and I release one, and then I look. And so on Spreaker, I'm releasing the first FearLess Volume 1. I'm going to do Volume 1, Volume 2, and then where we're at now, FearLess Conversations, all that. But I'm trying to gain a little bit of a new audience. So I looked at there's a big statistics button. So I hit the button, and my numbers came up. And I have solid little numbers, right? They're full watch times. They're a solid amount of little downloads and everything. So it's like cute to look at. But the revenue for all the work I had put into it, and this is relevant, was like $823. So me and Ralphie were talking one day, and he had mentioned you should try Spreaker. A lot of these guys are on Spreaker, and they make like at least $100 a month, putting up all their stuff with Apple and all this other shit. So I was like, oh, I'll give it a try. I've been at it for 5 months. I've made $8.23. So I felt this weird tickle in me, and I looked at the number, and as I was getting like, you get turned off by it. So I was like, and I started laughing uncontrollably, pointing at the screen, at the numbers and everything. I could not control myself with the laughter. It was almost crazy laughter, almost, but it was completely sane with what winds up occurring. So I'm like, I can't stop laughing. I was writing Kevin. I was like, I can't stop laughing. Everything is fake. So the mushrooms are like, open up YouTube. So I'm like, I don't want to play on the computer. Open it up. My vision goes perfect. I'm like, okay. I open it up. Statistics come up, and now they're pretty good. They're good. Not great, but they're pretty fucking solid. And I'm like thankful and grateful with the YouTube progress. I'm like, wow, this is really nice. I really like appreciate everyone and everything. So I go, but that number right there, it was like 940 hours. I just broke into laughter. And the mushrooms goes, this is all fucking fake. So you're going to laugh at it. So I'm like, this is all my work, my time, my effort, my energy. What are you talking about, fake? And then the mushroom was coming not just as like an etheric sound. It was like a buddy on my shoulder that was laughing at me. You have your friend that comes over, and you're sitting there, and your friend just starts making fun of you and laughing at you, and it doesn't hurt your feelings. You just laugh along with it. But I didn't know why, because it was so real to me. It was so, the numbers, the math, it was so real, right? This is so weird. So the mushroom's like, yo, it's all fake. Pointing at everything. I'm pointing. It's like I'm not even controlling my arm. Pointing, laughing hysterically. It's not real. It's not real. None of this is real. None of it even matters. You already did your job. You're like basing things on numbers and monetary value and this, that, and the other thing, when meanwhile, all this other stuff's going on and the benefits is coming out of that end. So I'm like laughing uncontrollably. I'm like, you know what? Screw it. So I tell Kevin, I can't stop laughing. Everything is fake. So he says, well, I'm real. Like, the Suns is real. I think he took it as I meant we're all fake. And I was like, nah, we're real. But I'm talking about the Matrix is literally fake. The numbers are falsified and fake. And then it's not real on top of that. But it's real because we use it, 2 + 2 is 4. Stuff like that. So all of these details are breaking down in my mind. So I go, what do I do if it all ends? He says, it's never going to end. Laugh at yourself for being so ridiculous. So I just started laughing and I said, you know what? I'm not stopping my progress. I'm not going to do that. But I'm also not going to get upset. I'm just going to have fun with this because the spiritual ride is hard enough. And I can't be so worked up. It's like I didn't realize how much the numbers and the time frame and the equations and how everything's running, how much it's affecting me. So stepping away from it and laughing, whilst obviously still doing it, I'm here. What is up, Schaefer? What is up, my man? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Holy shit, I just caught that. There's like a little, I can see two or three things going on. My brother, I love you, man. I love you. So I'm realizing now how much bullshit fills my mind and doesn't leave enough room for other stuff. And there's like this worry that's attached to it. Like, can I do it? Are you going to do it? Are you going to get it done? They were like, you got to just do it. Don't worry. Hi, squirrel. Don't worry if someone doesn't like you, doesn't care, the numbers don't jive, this, that, the other thing. Just keep going. There's more to this than what you're actually seeing. And I said, well, I'm seeing numbers. I'm looking at the screen. This stuff is real. Like, I'm having the argument, and then the computer goes like, the screen comes out, and it wasn't real. They were showing me how it's real to me. Like, oh, it's 3D, it's obviously this, that, the other thing. Okay, good. But it doesn't actually exist. You're in a dream world right now, and you're agreeing that the computer is what it is. So it doesn't matter. And I'm like, yeah, but it matters because my stuff's attached to it. So they were breaking me away from this feeling that it must be done. We have to accomplish the goal. Oh my goodness, right? They were like, you have to stop doing that. For whatever. Just do what you're doing without any of that attached to it. So I'm like, yeah, I need to lay down, bro. I'm beginning to this is where it gets fucking weird. I'm beginning to bug out from this thought a little bit because I can see everything in my mind happening all at once. So it was hard for me to get a grip. So I lay in the bed, I get comfortable, I put on this really awesome music, and the first song is Will Always Be There For You. And it's just like a hip-hop, jazz, lo-fi beat. And it's got this guy with a hat on, just looking out the camera, head on with these other characters in the back, and it's just playing music. And I immediately was like, oh, this song is awesome. So calming and so relaxing, and I felt the vibe of the music, and I said, okay. I looked at the screen. The guy looked alive to me, like he had, but it wasn't him. It wasn't the image, because that was an AI image. But I felt whoever put this together, put it together with love. So it was like filling the room. It was pretty loud too. And I laid in the bed, and I was laying on my side, And I was just like I'm ready to go do something else because I can't write music. Obviously, I can't look at the numbers. I can't jive with this. How's my health? How am I doing? What's wrong with me? Maybe we go visit someone or see something that I should know about or some, I don't know. There's a grackle right next to me. He's right there. I know, I'm live. You want to come be live with me? He's getting closer to me. Little homie, what do you, oh, there you are. Hey. All right, so, by the way, shout outs to everybody in the chat and everything. So, I lay down and I'm on my side and I hear a female voice that's like, okay, you ready? You ready to do something different? So I'm like, yes, totally. The visuals become fucking crazy. I thought the trip would like be lightening up or something and it wouldn't go on for a long period of time, usually like 4 hours, you're up and in and out. And I felt this pull in and I saw a tesseract, which is basically a cube. And it was beautiful looking though. So it was alive, like it was moving, and it didn't have pointed edges, it had curved edges. So it looked very alive. It looked almost like a cube that was a heart, and it was moving. It kind of beat a little bit and then kind of swirled, but it was inside of a sphere. And it was kind of showing itself to me. It was like floating, doing this. So I go, oh, look at that. I got a tesseract inside of me. And the mushroom goes, oh, so you recognize we're inside of you. So I'm like, yeah, well, I wouldn't expect us to be outside of me. I'm not sitting with my eyes open and everything. So I had this on and I pulled it over my eyes so there was no light coming into my, even with my eyes closed, there was nothing. And everything got pitch black. And I'm like, hey, where'd the tesseract go? I want to know more about that. They're like, well, that's inside of you. That's like living geometry that holds the whole thing together, that has all your info in it. They're like, as you pull back, there's more within more within more. So I'm like, wow, this is pretty awesome. So I hear the woman's voice again, and she goes, would you lay on your back for me? Now, if any of you remember, I'm known to be like, nah, I can't do that. Right? Can't lay on my back. Like, I'm pretty stubborn. When I lay on my back, it feels like, it feels weird. I can't do it anymore, but sometimes I can. But when they asked the first bunch of times, I wouldn't do it for them a long time ago. And I learned a lesson. So I immediately just flipped over onto my back and I said, I'm ready. I submit to the experience. I love you. I love myself. I hear, okay, good, great. He just flipped right. Look at that. Wow. Everybody was like a little bit of an applause thing going on. I was like, all right, all right. And I saw this transparent layer right here. Like my visuals, it was pitch black and then went colorful. I was like, whoa, almost like the stage is being set and you're watching all the pieces come online. And I'm like, whoa. But there was a transparent layer over me. And what looked like a brain, I'm going to be honest, it looked kind of like a brain, was on the transparent layer right above my head. So I can see it. It's like right here. And I'm like, is that a brain? And I saw these little tentacly things come out. It looked totally organic. And then it moved a little bit to one side. And then I saw that it grew and there was a dress. And I knew immediately someone was coming in to the visual. And I seen that it was a woman. And I was like, whoa. Couldn't see her face. This part's so frustrating. So I couldn't see her face. But obviously it was a woman. And I said, greetings, goddess. I felt her energy. I said, oh, look at this. This is going to be good. She moves directly over me. And the layer opens. And a beam of light it looked like a sun ray, like a sunbeam, came down and then opened wide and was just blasting me. And I was like, oh, that's nice. That's nice. Look at that. I'm breaking through the realm, and this is going to be something special. This is where it gets fucking weird. She hands, well, inside the beam of light, in her hands, is a swaddled baby. And she's like, and I'm kind of like, put my hands in my pockets, and I look at her, I look at the baby, and everyone's waiting for me to take the baby. And I look and I go, thank you, no thank you. She says, take the baby, you're being blessed. And I said, no thanks, I think I'll pass. Holy shit, did I start something I was not prepared. This started an entire chain of events that overtook everything, literally. So she gets mad. She gets very upset and pulls the baby back up into the light. Light closes. Now she's in the transparent layer. She looks at me and goes, you are being blessed with a gift from us, from the universe, from the whole thing. And I was like, I don't want a baby. Thank you, but no thank you. I've said this numerous times. I'm not the guy you want around kids. I might be if I was a different person, but I curse. I smoke weed. I'm an ayahuasca shaman. All the hats that I wear, not one piece of it fits a child. Right? Other than I collect action figures and read comic books. That's a personal thing. So she says to me, you are very disrespectful, and takes herself and slides over to here, and I see her looking at me on the diagonal. And I'm like, I'm not trying to start anything. Shout outs to Arizona. Golden Lantern in the house. Higher Frequency. I love you, man. I love you. Check out High Frequency. He does great stuff. So I'm like, listen, I don't want a baby. I've never wanted one. Never, ever. I'm 50 years old. My wife is 3 years older than me. And you're going to come to me, and I feel you. Thank you. And she kept showing me with disdain, like just all these things. So I said, but you're coming to me, and you're not going through my wife first? She's the one that's going to have to deal with all this. She doesn't want a kid. I don't want one. If I show up with that kid in my hand and be like, even spiritually, hey, look, she's going to go, are you kidding me? Totally not in our playbook. I'm like, wow, this is frustrating. Goddess, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to you. I'm trying to tell you how I feel. And she's like, well, you should just accept the gift. And I go, what if you were handing me something I didn't want? Like literally, I wanted no part of. Nothing. Like, here's a whole bag of crack. And I'm like, nah, I don't want that shit. Well, you should take it. It's a gift. And it's like, yeah, that's not a gift I want. I don't know how that's going to shift my timeline. I don't know. So then, I start going, I get this thought, like, maybe this is part of the timeline. Like, maybe I have to do this to jump in. And then I start seeing the two timelines split, and I started seeing me and Paula, and then me and Paula with the kid, and the timeline with the kid was like blowing up awesome, like just crazy, but I was not having a good time. So I was like looking at it going, I don't want no part of that. She don't want no part of that. And then the other timeline was kind of going off to the side, and I'm like, no. You don't get to take my timeline away. Who are you to take that away from me? I'm Source. You don't get to tell me anything. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry for being disrespectful. I'm sorry, but I'm kind of standing on this. And I'm like, wow, where did that other character come from? I'm like, everyone's quiet. Higher self's not saying nothing to me. My mind's being taken apart, being reformed. I'm worried about all this stuff, and now I've been laughed at. I had to go and laugh at it. I had to, I was having a decent time. Then the music, I was worried it didn't fit, and I don't know, and it's a different thing for me. And now you're throwing this into the mix in the middle of my mind being fucking repaired? I disagree. Well, it's a gift, and obviously you can't accept a gift when it comes from the higher timeline. I go, out of all the things you'd want to give me, that's what you decide to give me? And she was like, it's life. And I go, I don't want a baby. I'm going to be honest with you. Don't drop one off on my fucking porch. I'm not adopting. I'm not connected to any of that. I better not wake up one day and then there's someone there or something. I don't want it. It's like giving me something I literally am like, yuck, disgusting. And I have nothing against kids. The future of the world is at stake, but not me. Not me. So I tried to explain to her all the reasons why. And she said to me, you were disrespectful when you met your galactic family too. And I said, yeah, I was. And I apologized ad nauseum for that. But what did you do? What did they do? Kids started showing up, right? Right in the middle of this weird experience where they were extracting my DNA and creating things on ships and then bringing those children back to me. And I'm like, what did I say? I said, oh, you stole my DNA. You fucking stole it. Stolen. You created all these half-breeds. And now you're like, look at your children. All of your children. And I was like, nah. I don't want no fucking kid. Now you want to leave them with me? All these kids they're not right because you stole it. And you stole it from me, and you stole from my wife. You didn't have my permission for any of this, and that's why it's not working. And then they were like, oh yeah, what about your wife? And I'm like, well, Paula's right there. They're like, no, on the ship. I'm like, what? And they showed me this lady. She was very nice. I had no feeling towards her. It was like, send you love. And she was like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, I'm serious. I send you love. What else you want? Then I started seeing kids, and I'm like, all different ages. And I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, you've had children in so many lifetimes and so many places. You're like made to be like that. You're like perfect for it. And I was like, nah, it's all right. And they pulled me away. They pulled me off the ship. I saw all of them. They were all just staring at me like I did something wrong. And I was like really upset by the way they presented it and outlined it to me, knowing the way I feel about certain things. So I had another experience once where I woke up on the ship And there was a young man, 15 years old, sitting right next to me, and I was in the pod. And I looked right up at him, and I was waking up, and I'm like, "Are you God?" And he just laughed. And he was like, "No, I'm not God. I'm your son." And I looked at him, and I was like, "No, you're not. Don't be pulling that fucking shit on me while I'm having an experience, right?" And I realized I was in the ship, and I went, "Oh shit, my bad. I didn't mean to say that." And he goes, "Well, you thought I was God 2 seconds ago, so don't worry about it." So I go, "You look like me." Like a skinny, lean, not a skinny version, but a lean version. Very lean. He had a full head of hair. It was kind of wavy. He looked like the kid from Dune, the main actor, but more like me, but just like him. He was like built like him, same hair cut. He was wearing one of those outfits where it's like blue with the gray on the sleeve. These galactic guys all have like outfits on the ship. So I had a talk with him. I got up out of the tank and I said, "Hey, where's your mother?" And he goes, "Yeah, Mom's not so happy with you." And I go, "Why not?" He says, "Well, the last time they introduced you to her, the way you acted." And I said, "No, Paula." And he goes, "Paula is not my mother." And I was like, "Oh shit." So I was like, "All right, I don't know how that works." And he was like, "You don't have to worry about it." And then he said to me, "I'm not coming in there." So I go, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Back in the day, I had met a girl while I was on vacation, and we hung out together. Apparently, she had gotten pregnant. I didn't know, but she had a miscarriage. Something happened, but she told me she did a lot of drugs and alcohol when she found out she was pregnant to get rid of the kid, because she knew she wasn't going to see me. She was like 8 hours from me north, and she didn't even tell me. So I knew I was a young guy. I knew nothing about this. But I started having dreams of this little boy coming to me, and he said, "You never came to get me." And he would hug me, and he'd like go inside of me. And for weeks, I ran from him in my dreams. So I stopped running from him. It was like a little kid in a little triple fat goose jacket. And when I looked at him, it was me. So he said, "Well, that was me. That was a long time ago." I would have been, shit, he would have been almost 30 by now. So he's like, "There's no way for me to get in," because I have no one around me like that had a baby. And I said, "Please don't come through a family member, that's whack." And then be like, "Oh, this people had a baby, now I got to be connected." I stepped away from the whole thing because my whole family was like laughing at me about how I'm healing myself. So I didn't want to be bothered. I was like, I'm Xing myself, so just send a birthday card with some money in it. I don't give a shit. I know it sounds kind of harsh and kind of crazy, but then the kid says, "Nah, there's no connection to getting in there to get to you before it's time." And I said, "What are you talking about?" And he says, "It's almost time, man." And I said, "For what? I'm going to die or something?" And he goes, "No, you're going to walk in here and get up on the ship before I could actually grow up to be old enough to be a man to be with you when it happens. So I'm just going to wait for you on the ship. So you'll see me when you're physically on the ship standing there." So I was like, "Yeah, right, whatever." I have another experience. I'm a light body. This is when I was the Demon Slayer 5000. They put a new spine in me, and the guy named it. It said Demon Slayer 5000 on this red spine. They had my body inside of a tank, and I was just looking at this science guy, and I'm like, "How did I get here?" And he's like, "Oh, you're on the ship." So I look at him, I look at me, I look at my bodies in the tank, and then he goes, "You all right?" And I go, "Wow, I'm glowing. What are you doing to my body?" So I saw them lower the spine. It was this big red It looked like a machine of a spine. They like dropped it over the head of, right above me. And then he said, okay, don't be nervous. And I said, what are you talking about? He goes, just don't get scared. Whatever you do, just watch what happens. I go, okay. He pushes this lever and the body disperses in the tank. Just that. Gone. And it's just in the water, but not, it just completely torn. Every atom of this, my body was gone. It was just water in the tank, and you could see that my stuff was in there mixed. I was like, what the fuck? I started screaming and yelling. I go, what are you doing to me? And then he goes, relax. I just told you not to freak out. So I go, you better not have killed me or nothing or whatever. They drop the spine into the tank, and then the body starts to reform around the spine. Boop. And my body was perfect. I was looking at it, and I'm like, well, it came back. So I look back at the doctor guy, the science guy, and my son is standing there. So he's like behind the door next to the guy, and they were like, oh, is he, I heard him say, is he ready for that? Is he going to be ready for you? So I look over and I go, just let him in. It's my kid, right? He let him in. He walks up to me and he's like, yeah, what's up, Dad? And I go, look upon me with loving eyes. Look at how I glow and everything. And he goes, man, now I see why she has a problem with you. You're just totally into it, huh? And I'm like, I don't know what you're speaking of. And when you speak to me, you better watch yourself because I glow. I'm a creator. And then I went, hey, buddy, I'm just kidding. Put my arm around him. I said, what's up? So this was like another time seeing him. So now I'm getting used to him. And then I was laughing how, you know, I got to keep a sense of humor. They just dispersed my body in a machine. You're telling me that the lady I'm married to on the ship is pissed off and you're not coming down and you're going to meet me on the ship. Like, there's a lot of fucking drama. I don't want no drama. I'm avoiding drama by just avoiding it. Right? This is all stuff I don't know about and I'm becoming aware of, but don't just drop me in it head first. Hey, you're going to go meet 40 of your kids. They're all special needs, though, because your DNA was stolen. I'm like, man, I don't want to see that shit. But I got to know. See, now hindsight, I'm like, damn, I fucked up a little bit. I should have been like really nice to everyone and just been like, okay, even if I was in the group, The Heist, for a reason. And literally, I have no poker face anymore. And like, it's just gone. Right? So I meet you and I'm like, yeah, I'm not with that one. He looks like me, but we're not together. Like, I have to fix myself with this because it's really disturbing. So I break all of this down and it's almost like it happened in 30 seconds, but everything I just explained to you, plus all the details of, I was going, so if we had a kid, the kid have to go to school and get the shots and then this and that, and I don't want that, and I don't want bullies, I don't want this neighborhood for a kid, and I don't want this, and I don't want that. It was all the things I don't want. That's when it got fucking weird again. So they start showing me the timeline with the kid, and they're like, look, and it was like pre-kindergarten. First it was the swaddled baby. I wouldn't hold the baby. I was like, I'm just looking. So I saw me holding the baby, but I was watching it like, nope. And then it went to pre-kindergarten. I knew it was pre-kindergarten because I saw all these parents and all the students. And then I was sitting with my kid. I guess he was graduating or something. And then it was like a congratulations. And I saw balloons and flowers. It was very beautiful. And then I was like, oh, that's nice. Kid's fucking graduating. We're going to celebrate everything these kids do, right? I was just a complete dick. So then it was like first grade. Then it was high school. Then it was graduation and his first date and all these really wild things. But then I saw Paula. And they were showing me a picture, like the visual with Paula in it. And I said, that's not real. She wouldn't be happy right now with this. I'm telling you. She's in no condition to have a child. And they were like, the magic of the universe, just let it go. Just let it go. And I'm like, no, I'm not letting anything go. The answer is no. So then the mushroom was like, I was like, mushroom, I'm kind of getting sick of this. This is disturbing me on a level that I wasn't expecting this, and I don't think I want this at all. And I don't want to disrespect anyone, but I already did apparently. But even standing in my own ground, I'm like, I don't want to fucking feel bad. I'm tired of saying sorry. Sorry, not fucking sorry. It's my choice. Am I doing wrong by choosing something? Like, you kind of like imposing this on me and forcing it on me. It's not fun. It's like taking me somewhere I don't want to be and being like, have fun. It's like, I don't want to be here. Well, you said you tried something new. Dude, I'm not eating squid and swimming with sharks. No matter how much you fucking think that the fish might love me, I don't care. It's not gonna happen. Don't fucking ask. I'll throw myself out of a plane before I do something like that. Trust me, I've already done that. So I'm like, fuck. So the mushroom says, nah, it's all right, it's cool. And I go, it's not cool. It's like, turn on my side. He goes, now I felt like I was looking at a side view of my body instead of me being on my back, because when I was on my back I could kind of see down into it, but now I was on my side and it looked like when you cut cake and then move it over, you could see all the details inside the cake, like, oh, all the layers have this different stuff in it. So the mushroom was like a little guy standing on the top piece of this, and it looked like he was cleaning, and it looked like he was cleaning my arteries. It was weird stuff. I saw my blood coming through, and it was like clean and clear. They were telling me, take a big, Frank, you got to breathe. You're forgetting to breathe. Take a breath of air. And I was like, what are you talking about? And my chest went, I felt like I was expanding, and I expanded so much that it went into my neighbor's house. And then I said, oh, this is too far. I can't, it's going to impose on him. And then he was outside and I seen him go, keep that shit off my property. And then he got hit with it and he was like, oh, we're all one. And it looked like a giant almost snowflake that was spreading out of me. And I was like, whoa, this is fucking crazy. This is going big. And he's like, well, you're big. So you got to be proud of it now. You got to go with it. You can't hide it back anymore. And I said, oh, but the goddess is mad at me. What does the goddess have to do with this part? So then I heard a rumbling just by my heart. And I go, what is that? So when I looked, it looked like a cellar door. Two of them closed. And something was trying to get free. Something under there. Or in there. And the mushroom goes, hey, you gonna open that? So I go, nah. I didn't trust anything. I was like, nah, why? He goes, you feel the resistance, right? I go, yeah, you said that before, the resistance. So I'm resisting. Obviously, I'm resisting that if I open that, fucking balloons are going to come out and they're going to be like, dun, 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 you want a baby, dun, 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 and you're going to show me all this stuff and love and all this great stuff. That's awesome. Can I open that and not have a baby and just be awesome? Do I have to have this? Obviously, I'm still sitting with you going, this is disgusting. And they're like, yeah, but and I'm like, mushroom, I'm sorry. I'm not having a good time. I fucking rolled over, curled into a ball. I said, please take me to a different topic or something different. And he said, okay, take a look. We're cleaning out your body. You did excellent with your ivermectin. You've been cleaning and clearing out your system. When you went and you got the shot, I got a shot at the dentist and he got me. My mouth was like I didn't see him come in with the needle, but I did get one right up in here because this whole piece had to come out, be cleaned. Hey, baby. So my face got numb up to here, like my whole eye. Well, my whole forehead had broken out the next day. And my skin just up this line was not right. And I knew they had put something in me, but I was on ivermectin. And then I came off the ivermectin I was eating charcoal like crazy to carry everything out, sweating like a beast, cleaning and clearing, doing all my thing. The full moon's coming. I'm like, all right, this is going to be great. He's like, "What? We got to clean this out." So he's shoveling, moving things around. He's like, "But you did a great job." He's like, "In the music," he goes, "that new song you did, Wizard, sounds great." So I'm like, "Oh yeah, Off to Be the Wizard, it's called." I said, "It's a little different, but it's dope." And he was like, "Yeah, good job." I go, "Why do I feel like this conversation's fake? Like I feel like you're just placating me at this point. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be a dick to you two. It's like everyone I get right with, no matter, like when I speak my truth, people get upset with me. They get mad at me, and I'm tired of everyone being fucking mad at me. I'm tired of it. I don't care. I don't fucking care anymore. But I love you though. So this is the problem I'm having. It's like, you know, I just don't want to go to Great Adventure on that day. It's raining and lightning, and I don't want to hold a baby in the fucking weather. It's not me. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm suppressing, but I looked up as I was having this conversation towards the end of my experience, and I was reaching out for anyone that maybe would be in the realm and kind of just be like, "Hey man, what's up? I totally understand." Just something. And I look up and I see my man Andrew Sly. So Sly, if you're listening, you fully came into my experience last night. And he was standing off to the side of where the goddess was on the angle, just right off to the side. And he was bent over looking at me like, and I go, "Holy shit." I go, "Sly dog, what are you doing, man?" He goes, "Nothing." I go, "You out in the woods or something?" Like, it looked like he was playing like with sticks to maybe start a fire or something. And he said, "Oh, I'm just with the kids. We're doing stuff, you know, we're doing good. I'm just keeping an eye on you." So I was like, "Yeah, man, the kids. Well, I love your kids. I don't want kids though." See, and it just came right back down the pipe again to me, and I'm going to bed. And I laid there and forced it to like minimize, which is really not a good thing, I don't think, my experience. I didn't want to have it anymore. I had enough. I was frustrated. I was torn apart, re-put back together again. I disrespected a goddess. Sounds like I hate children, but I don't. So I woke up today, and I was still thinking about how disrespectful they kept saying I was, because I don't want to be that guy. I want to fix whatever the fucking problem is. So I tell Paula what happened, and she says to me, "What? I don't want any fucking kids. I'm not having a kid. I don't want one. I physically don't think I can handle it. I'm not down with it." I said, "Dude, they showed me, they were like showing me that they're coming to me, not you, because it enters me and then goes into you. So they were showing me, like with my wife, the next time we hang out, and that it just like explodes through me and go." And I'm like, I don't even know if I want to do anything right now. I'm kind of completely turned off by the whole experience. Like, I literally want nothing. So she says, "Go in the other room and get me those fucking mushrooms and bring them in here right now. I'm going in. I need to see what the fuck is going on." And I was like, "What?" She goes, "Right now." I go in, I get her the mushrooms. She's upstairs right now going under. She didn't take that much. She took a half of what I told her to take to get to the position that she would need to go, and she always undermines that and says, no, I'll only take this because of my body weight. And I'm like, that's some bullshit. But it was working, and she's upstairs. So who knows what the experience is going to be. But she was like, I need to, every detail about this, everything. I said, there was one point where your higher self was right there. And I said, are you looking in from my decision? Or did they ask you first? And there was no response. She was just staring. So I'm like, oh, this is on me. I don't want this responsibility. I was like, I need to be fixed from all the stress I've been having, all the ups and downs, all the ins and outs. And then we're going into the full moon, and it's in Leo, and this and that. Throw up your elemental signs, by the way, if you're in there. I'm a fire sign. I'll be throwing it up in the chat in a little bit. Bang! Let's go with my water elementals, my air elementals, my earth elementals. So, and greetings to everyone who's been here with me. So I don't know if I'm wrong for feeling this, and it sounds like a personal beef, but I promised I'd do the reports on the mushrooms, but this one was kind of like different. It was just different. And I had just seen something that talked about manifestation, and they were saying that if you talk about it when you have a personal experience and it's not fully, the magic and everything isn't fully in play yet, by you speaking about it right away and telling everyone, it could ruin the magic and like bring the power level down. And the first thing I thought of, I need to talk to everyone. I need to bring that power level down significantly. But I also don't, because I don't want a kid, but I also want to express that I don't want to be put in another position out of timeline. Like, don't threaten me. This is, I'm getting so mad right now. Don't fucking threaten me with this. Don't tell me that I gotta do something. What do I gotta do? I gotta accept this or it's not gonna work? I don't know. Maybe there's some bullshit in here. Maybe this was a test. Maybe it was a test to push something out, to make me think, because I've never had them, like, anytime anyone's tried to like push something on me, like, hey, you gotta come with me for this to work. It's always bullshit. It's always a lie. It's like, I'm a sovereign being. I don't need to fucking lick a lollipop, jump in the air, do a backflip to ascend. I'm ascending. And I'm the singularity, so it's not stopping. But don't tell me I'm gonna fucking wind up hitting a brick wall on my ascension timeline because I'm not having a child. Oh, and by the way, here's the kid. It's like, no. Don't do that. My mother used to fight with my father when they got divorced. It was terrible. It was fucking terrible. She would like take me. I'd be in my fucking underwear, homie, like 12 years old, drag me out of the house, put me in the car, drive me to him, and she would just like kick me out of the car to go to him. Take your fucking kids. You know, I had a rough early on. So I'm like, don't ever enforce that shit. We're not doing what happened to me as a child to anyone. Don't ever do that. And I would think they would know better. So that's what's making me think maybe everything wasn't what it was. So now I sat with my higher self for an hour this morning, this early afternoon. And I said, did I do something wrong? He said, no, you didn't do anything wrong. I said, why does it feel so wrong? Why do I feel like the disapproving is still coming at me? It's always disapproval. So you're going to change my fucking timeline? I'm not going to get my abilities. I'm going to die at an early age instead of making it through. Like, what the fuck are you telling me? What are you trying to tell me? He's like, no, calm down. I said, I'm open. I'm sending love at everyone. What is the problem? Why do these people always fucking hate on me? Just because I tell you, if somebody put shrimp in front of me and was like, bro, we're having shrimp. If it was part of the larger dinner meal, I would be like, thank you, but no thank you. I don't eat anything really from the sea. I don't like it. I find it terribly disturbing and disgusting. Probably because I'm from the sea, and even though I'm a fire elemental, it's probably some weirdo mix in there. It's probably some fish being, and I want nothing to do with the aquatics because I don't want to be eaten by a shark. I just don't want to be around that stuff. Don't like it. Fascinated by it, but don't like it. So, why does it got to feel that way? He says, well, I'm going to be honest with you. Kid is not in my plans as well. You can obviously open new doors to new ways to get to things. Energies, areas, unlocks, portals, whatever. Your ascension. But right at this moment, I'm unaccepting of that as well. So don't worry about it. And I was like, wait, what? So, what are you saying? That would have been interference? Like a disruption. Yeah, nothing like bringing a baby into the middle of the mix right now for me would be a complete disruption of everything that's going on. It would pull it back to a slow crawl. It showed me a timeline of literally all the stuff I don't want. I was like, where's all the stuff Paula and I have been planning for the last 10 years? I see none of that. They're like, well, you could do that too. I'm like, how? Time, effort, and energy. How? You show me how. You're showing me all this other stuff. The more I think about it, the more I don't know if I trusted it. If I should trust it. I trust me all the time. And I trust my higher self. And he's like, So this was just before I went live. I kind of reconciled a little bit with myself. I spoke to KG, told him what happened. He was like, wow, so much shit. You should have just took the kid. I was like, no. What's going on, everyone? Shout out to all my elementals out there, my FearLess family. So that's my trip report. I forced myself to sleep last night after that occurred. I realized that I had been going at it from 12 to 3:30 hardcore. I guess the challenges are for all of us out there to figure it out, right? Right? Not every mushroom trip is going to be Frank on a spaceship or stepping into the pit. Sometimes it's going to be something as simple as like, bro, you just say the word baby. Watch Frank lose his shit completely. It's like talking about paperwork, right? I always tell them the paperwork's the worst. And they go, yeah, the way you describe it. We're so glad we don't have to do anything with this paperwork. Good luck with that. Yeah, I don't want that with a child. I don't want for that. I said I'll do anything. I'll bring plants into this world. I'll bring dogs, cats, birds, bees, fucking squirrels, whatever. So here's the next update on the garden. So I had to move some stuff around yesterday. We talked about the bud rot and everything, but let's talk about some of the good stuff. I'm going to flip this around. Check this out. Boop. So this is Batman OG, and Batman is starting to grow buds. She's got to be at least 7 feet tall. She's touching up there. I gave everybody a trim. These are some flowers we've grown, some blueberries. We got a couple of blueberries right there. And then in this little spot, 4 gigantic plants. Close to the 7-foot mark on the big one. And the shorter ones are just over my head. And then we have a smaller girl down here. I realized yesterday, this is the double purple. This plant is supposed to turn bright purple. So when I looked up the information on it, I have to check it for rot. But this stuff all looks really good. But I'm just nervous now. They said you can't touch it till it turns completely purple before you could harvest. So I was like, wow, that's cool. And then the Amherst diesel took off, touching almost the ceiling in here. I mean, she's up on the table, but she's gigantic. She's at least 4.5 feet tall. So that's pretty awesome. And I had the fans on the girls all night. Yeah, you could see right here where the top was a problem. We just clipped it right off, had to take it off and off the top of this girl. But the inside, everything feels tight, good. So when it comes to rot, removing it quickly can save the entire batch. One bad apple ruins the entire mix. This is for everything, us and them. And everything else. She's going after the squirrel. So just keep that in mind, everyone, right? To do what you have to do to stay healthy, to stay happy, to stand in your power. Look, I did the whole thing last week about saying no, and that's the most powerful thing you can do. No can also be overused and be kind of shitty if you overuse it. You miss out on opportunities and stuff. But if it really doesn't suit you, if it really doesn't, down to your fucking core, and you're not hiding it, just stand in it. Stand in it. The whole world could tell you, hey, move. And you stand in your power and you say, no, you move. You're the one that's going to move, not me. And I'm not being stubborn. I'm just being honest and truthful with an open heart, still open arms, still loving, still caring, still rough around the edges in every way and shape possible, but willing to take a chance on changing myself to be a better person, flowing like water, right? Filling the contents of the cup at the time, filling the container. I'm looking at all these girls. They look so happy right now. Yeah, we're going to go look at this. This girl is about 2.5 feet high, but gigantically thick. All the edges, all her, all this, all that, all around. Yeah. So anyway, I appreciate each and every one of you. Shout out to Matt McDonald. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have such a glorious now with the plants. He's taught me so much. Very knowledgeable. Great guy. Love him. If you have any questions or comments, please light it up. Please let me know. Look, she's hunting. What's this? Hey, baby. What are you doing? Who you hunting? Huh, baby. So Bebe was our newest, our youngest. She's mad at me. All right, so I love you guys. I hope, I guess the 8/8 portal opens tomorrow, right? Things are starting to go. I think we're releasing a new song this week, Sons of the Sun's music. And shout outs to the FearLess family and everyone that's out there. Oh, this was the other thing. Okay, so if you're on Facebook, right, and you didn't hear the Solaris Blue Raven interview, me on Raven Star's Witching Hour. I did 2 hours the other night. I can't share it publicly, but she sent me a thing that I could forward on Facebook Messenger. I can't copy it or anything, but I can share it laterally. So if you want to hear it, hit me up on Facebook and then I'll just share it to you. And then you could listen on Facebook Messenger. It's just audio only. It was more of a radio show than a video show. All right. So we got a lot of good things coming your way. Check out the new single, Singularity. I know it's been out for a minute, but we re-released the fan art video. So go check that out. We got a lot of nice visuals. Let me know. Let me know what you think about the song. The playlist is up for everything, and I appreciate each and every one of you spending your time with me. Stay fearless, everyone, and remember, the universe rewards bravery. Catch you next time.